My name is Villarreal, and this is Deep Ocean Trenches and Island Volcanic Arcs. Throughout our history, humans have continuously tried to understand the world we live in. Our curiosity will never be fully satisfied because of certain physical limitations the universe has set for us. One such area is deep ocean exploration and explanations for island volcanic arcs. Deep ocean trenches are typically accompanied with island volcanic arcs, and while our exploration of trenches is still relatively minimal, the ways in which we've come to determine these facts and explore these trenches is a matter of fascination. So what are deep ocean trenches and island volcanic arcs? Deep ocean trenches are long and narrow depressions on the seafloor formed at subduction zones, typically between convergent plate boundaries, typically ocean-to-ocean convergent plate or an ocean-to-continent convergent plate. The deepest naturally occurring areas on Earth are these trenches. Island volcanic arcs are a chain of volcanic islands that are also formed at subduction zones between the same types of convergent plate boundaries and are typically associated with deep ocean trenches, although sometimes they appear without them. So in this picture, we see a deep sea trench over here with the accompanying volcanic arcs, the islands, and a subduction zone of oceanic to oceanic convergent plate boundaries. Exploration of trenches and volcanic arcs has been minimal. It began in the mid-1800s with James Clark Ross. He was the captain for the British Navy, and he began his explorations through Antarctica, but was unable to successfully complete a mission because of the ice that surrounds Antarctica. So from where he was positioned, he was only able to see two very large volcanoes, and he named them after the ships that he took on the expedition, which were Mount Erebus and Mount Terror. What he didn't know was that those were part of an island volcanic arc, which was later named in his honor, Ross Island, since he is the one who discovered the initial volcanoes. Most recently, James Cameron has been exploring for National Geographic. In 2012, he took a submersible into the deepest parts of the ocean, the Challenger Deep, which is located in the Mariana Trench, and he is the last of 3 people to ever explore these parts of the ocean. This is Auguste and Jacques Piccard. They were a father and son team. Auguste Piccard began his research in the mid-1900s. He initially began with air travel, and he soon changed his exploration and adventuring, enthusiasm to underwater trenches. And he began so because the submersibles that they were using during that time were linked to cables, and they were extremely dangerous, and a lot of people would die going down into the depths of the ocean because the cables were not sturdy enough, and the currents from under the water would catch them and often tear the cables, and they would die. So what he proposed was a new type of submersible, which was a 22-foot submersible, which was completed in 1948. His research was halted due to the First World War, and after the World War ended, he immediately began doing his project again, and then again he completed in 1948. He was actually never able to test his submersible because of a lack of funding from his, exploration guides. Eventually the French took over his submersible and made adjustments to it. Meanwhile, he created a second submersible, a new improved design from that, and his son, who continued to work in his father's footsteps, was actually able to use this redesigned submersible to explore the Challenger Deep. He was one of the first 2 people to ever explore the Challenger Deep, which again is the deepest part of the ocean all across Earth. So because he followed in his father's footsteps, at least one Piccard was finally able to use their submersible the way that they intended. And he went along with Don Walsh, which was his guide. He did insist that he go on the mission since his father was the one who designed the submersible. First, they were hesitant to do so, to allow him to go because of his lack of experience, but they had signed a binding contract initially with his father, so he had the opportunity to go, and they made him. So, different trenches of the world. The very first trench I'm going to discuss is the Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench does contain the Challenger Deep, which is the deepest part of the ocean. You can see it here, and that it is even deeper than Mount Everest is high above the Earth. It's approximately 10,984 meters deep, and it stretches 1,580 kilometers, which is 5 times the length of the Grand Canyon. Only 3 people have ever visited them. the lowest depths of this, and it was very difficult to explore them because of the darkness and the ocean currents that happened underneath. So that's why it's been so difficult to get more submersibles underneath there. It does contain 3 main islands and 21 underwater volcanoes, which are very distinct to the Mariana Trenches because of what they expel from them. And again, they are underwater and they do still erupt on occasion. The Tonga Trench and the Puerto Rico Trench. The Tonga Trench is the second deepest trench in the world. Its deepest point is called the Horizon Deep. It's approximately 10,882 meters deep, and it spans about 1,400 kilometers long. The Puerto Rican Trench is also in the top 10 of the deepest trenches in the world, and it is approximately 8,648 meters deep and 800 kilometers in length. It's known for its reoccurring seismic activity, which can often be linked to the fact that it's between the Atlantic plate and the Caribbean plate. So it happens to have a lot of seismic activity, which can also cause tsunamis in that area. In conclusion, all the information that we have about deep ocean trenches and their connections to island volcanic arcs, there's still a lot of information that we don't know about these depths, and we're still making discoveries every day. Oceanographers continue to try and find answers to the numerous questions through the development and advancement of exploration equipment that would allow us to delve further into the unknown depths of the ocean. The future for oceanography is bright, and hopefully we can use it to advance our knowledge and brighten even the darkest parts of the ocean.